Thanks for joining us here on the Bearcat Sports Network. It's time for our weekly update with head coach Mike Babcock. And coach, let's take a look at last week's game, the Bearcats' first win of 2017, a 50-0 victory over Kentucky State. There were a lot of bright spots on all sides of the ball, offense, defense, special teams. Talk about the team effort as a whole.
These are one of those games where you love as a coach because almost every facet of the game, I thought we played well. I think offensively, when you run for 265 yards on the ground, obviously, is pretty darn good. Defensively, when you can come away with not only a shutout, but a safety, a pick six, and then special teams having 2 returns for touchdowns and really kind of capped off a 50-0 game. So again, I was pleased with how we played.
And you summed it up there, just pulling out key moments right there. But let's look offensively. The Bearcats getting a good push on the line of scrimmage. Cheyenne Edwards, who was kind of bottled up at Angelo State, runs for 122 yards, 3 touchdowns. It's good to see a senior leader get on track like that.
Absolutely. We're a little bit older and more experienced on the front line and even at tailback. So it was nice to kind of get him back into the groove a little bit and be able to run the ball. It takes pressure off your pass game. Plus, being physical up front is kind of a big deal. So it was very happy to see what Cheyenne and the rest of the line could do.
Passing game, Reese Metcalf coming back after getting knocked out week 1, came back with a solid effort, distributed the ball well once again, 9 different receivers catching a pass for McKendree. We've seen that in the first 2 games, and that seems to be the Bearcats' MO this year.
Really the big thing is just getting the quarterbacks to understand who the open guy is and not necessarily who our top receiver is. And if they can do that and know where to go with the football, then usually good things will happen. So I think there was some tremendous catches, especially on the perimeter, some big-time catches for some key first downs. But overall was very pleased with how Reese played and how the rest of the receivers played.
And you mentioned the 2 scores on defense, the safety, Austin Wealth, Darian Simmons combining for a tackle in the end zone for a safety, and then Tobias Cook, who scored 2 touchdowns as a freshman when he was a tight end, grabs a pass out of midair, rambles 47 yards untouched. That's good to see the Bearcats get on the board defensively like that, but that whole 11-man unit as a group just played extremely well on Saturday.
Absolutely. They played with passion, they played with fire, a lot of juice, a lot of it on Saturday. And the good thing was just watching, a guy like Tobias, be able to play the cut, jump up, catch a screen pass, and really kind of take it to the house. And that was, to me, kind of the nail in the coffin, being able to say, hey, even defensively, we can score points. So overall, I was very, very pleased with the guys.
And on special teams, you mentioned the score as a punt return, a kick return. First time since your first game as a McKendree head coach, the Bearcats had a score like that in the same game. And also, look at Austin Wealth, almost blocked a punt, actually got a hand on it early in the ball game. So the special teams unit, that third group, really rounding out things on Saturday.
Absolutely. We told them before the game that was going to be the unit that's going to have to really change the momentum of the game with field position. And I thought it was just going to be about field position, but they ended up, getting some points out of it as well. So, but a tremendous job, on kickoff return of not just Josh Lovings, but, all 10 other guys being able to pick up blocks and really spring it. And it's the same thing on punt return. Great one-on-one blocking up front with the rest of the punt return group, and Derek Curry's able to, make one guy miss and get to the end zone.
So the Bearcats can pick up that 1-0 win on the week. They defeat Kentucky State by 50 points, get to 500 on the year, and now it's back on the road for your next 2 games, beginning with a tough non-conference opponent at Hillsdale College. This is a team that's 2-0, formerly of the GLIAC, a very traditional, strong conference, now members of the GMAC, the Great Midwest, in their first full season as a conference as a whole. And this is a team that's come off a come-from-behind win against Michigan Tech. Tell me what you know about the Chargers.
Hillsdale is a tremendous team. They are very well coached. They are in the right spot all the time. Play good offense, play good defense, play good special teams. And you kind of hit it on the head. They came back and scored 21 unanswered in the 4th quarter last week at home against Michigan Tech. And so this is a team that plays very well at home. They're big, they're tough, physical, and this is going to be a great challenge for us this week.
And just like your first 2 opponents, very balanced on the offensive side of the ball. They rush the ball just as much as they pass, about the same amount of yardage. So another strong test for your defense.
Absolutely. Their O-line is huge. They're probably going to be the biggest O-line that we face all year. And they like to run the ball. They have great tight ends, good running backs. I think they're tremendous on the ground. And what does that do? It opens up lanes in the pass game. They've got a tremendous wide receiver, number 82. He was an honorable mention All-American last year. They like to go to him. You know, they've got a couple other receivers that have some good catches as well. But, you know, overall they're a well-balanced offense, both run and pass. And again, this is going to be a big physical match for our defense to see if we can handle it.
Coach, I know this is not quite as long a trip as it was to Angelo State, but still a rather lengthy trip, and the Bearcats play a Saturday night game. What was your message to your team in preparing to take on this Saturday night task?
Well, it's just a challenge. You know, I mean, obviously when you go on the road 2 weeks ago and lose to a good football team of Angelo State, it can kind of, you know, break down a little bit and you start thinking of other things. But really it's a challenge. And that's what I told them at the beginning of this week. This is a challenge. I mean, we're playing a good team on the road at night. Can we be mentally focused, mentally tough, and still be able to come out at a 7 o'clock Eastern game to be the most physical team on the field? And so I'm excited. I'm excited to see what the guys can do, and you know, hopefully we can match up against Hillsdale, and you know, we'll see.
Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck on Saturday.
Appreciate it.
Don't forget, you can catch the live broadcast of the McKendree Hillsdale game live on the Bearcat Sports Network. Audio coverage beginning with a 5:45 Central, that's 6:45 Eastern pregame show. The 7 o'clock Eastern kickoff will be also live on the Bearcat Sports Network.